Hi, today's good person to know is Warren Cash. He's founder of Business Scene and a disruptive social media enthusiast. He says social media isn't technical at all, it's about communication, and that 93% of users believe companies should have a presence on social media. So if you're one of those companies that doesn't, you need to get on ASAP. In order to get your message across, you have to do it in a way in which you get noticed. And Warren says it's about collecting people, i.e. databases, and owning the relationship you have with the marketplace. Warren says the key challenges most people face is rising above the noise, and that Facebook did it by being disruptive. They encouraged the developers to build apps so that they could be in tune and engaged with their users. Richard Branson is one of the most disruptives of our time, always looking to see how things should be done better. Why do some brands stick out when others don't? Warren says you need to be innovative, see what's coming next, and establish how it can have an impact on your business. He uses Apple's iconic building in the US as an example. It's the 18th most photographed landmark in America, and it's a phone shop. I love the image of the plumber sitting on a toilet seat whilst driving. What, was he on the loo when he was driving? Yes, he was. Well, kind of. I'm sure you'll understand when you watch the video. It's just a perfect example of how to stand out, to be memorable, and to be a topic of conversation over dinner. I think you'll get the point when you watch it. So how disruptive are you prepared to be in order to get your message across? I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.
Terms. Actually, it's just a fancy way of describing the zillions of conversations that are taking place 24/7. Too many people are seeing social media as something technical as opposed to just conversations. It's just communication, nothing more, nothing less. Of the adult online population, 93% believe that your brand should be represented, should be present. So that's reason enough for all of you to take it serious if you're in business. The world has changed. Just fast forward to today, we've got an abundance of choice and a scarcity of attention. In fact, I would argue in the UK, we've got attention deficit. We are bombarded with so many marketing messages all the time, we filter. So for getting marketing messages out there, in one sense, it's never been harder. What it means for you in your businesses is that you've got to start seriously thinking about collecting people, having databases and owning the relationship with your potential marketplace. That's where the value lies in your businesses. We are now in a relationship economy. So for the radio it took 38 years, for the TV it took 13 years, for the iPod it was 4, for the internet it was 3, and Facebook did 100 million in 9 months. Now each one of those is a disruptive new way to communicate to an audience. We can share information, we can get out there, and it's viral. Other people are sharing it, and get reach massive audiences. It's about the conversation. For small business owners on limited budgets, it's never been easier. But the key challenge that most people face is how to rise above the noise. There's lots of brands out there to help you. How do you choose which one's right for you? Because actually, if you go and try and be active on all the different networks out there, you're a busy fool. It's not worth it. Where networking really, really helps, both online and offline, is when you establish trust in a relationship. These are the people that can refer and can help you take a business. Facebook did something which was taking it that step further, and it's actually what gave them the dominance in this space compared to the MySpace and the Bebos. They opened up their codes, their APIs, and they said, third-party developers, come and build apps and engage with our audience. And as soon as they did that, loads and loads of things became viral, and they started to really stand out from the crowd. So deeply entrenched now into everything we do. We've invested so much time, energy, and content in the conversations, the photos, the connections, and all of those things. Facebook can still be the part of the majority of your business strategy when it comes to social. Google Plus has still actually been slow to get its traction. It's the biggest search engine on the planet. My blog is warrencash.com. So from a Google point of view, if you're looking for me, you'd expect my blog to come up first. I created my Google Plus profile a while back, granted, but overnight it dominated the top spot of Google. If it's doing that for my name, what's it doing for your business, your product, and all of those different things? There's a lot of different also alternatives to social. Obviously Twitter, you'll notice it wasn't on the last slide. I don't consider Twitter to necessarily be a social network. For me, it's much more of a news feed and a place to get snippets of information. Do you know, In the last 2 days alone, there's been more original content uploaded to YouTube than the top 4 American TV channels that aired since the 1930s. You need to be considering a video strategy for yourself. Think testimonials, product demonstrations, case studies, explanations, demonstrate your expertise, share whatever, but start getting information out there. The tags are really, really useful. If social is your only marketing strategy, I think you're probably making a mistake. Social media is just an area of marketing. Probably one of the most disruptive entrepreneurs of our time. Richard Branson actually starts businesses in areas where he's got no right to be. Think Virgin Cola, they don't always work, but an inspirational disruptive entrepreneur. He said disruption is all about risk-taking, trusting with your intuition, and rejecting the way things are supposed to be. We should be questioning the norm. We should be looking at how things can be done better and how we can stand out. We always said there's a lot of noise around that. I would absolutely encourage you now to look at the brands that are getting your attention. And why are they getting your attention? If you're in business, you are a salesman first and foremost, and a marketeer also. Question the norm. We need to be continuously innovating. We need to be continuously looking at what's coming next and how is this going to impact our businesses. You've got to be doing the same thing. One of the most disruptive entrepreneurs in our time, but certainly somebody who understood how to appeal to the early adopters. This is their New York phone shop. It's the 18th most photographed landmark in America, and it's a bloody phone shop. And drinks, just being bought by Coca-Cola. Again, knew how to stand out. They knew how to disrupt the marketplace. This is a plumber in America. I mean, you're going to talk about this. You're going to tweet it. You're going to share it. This is people who understand how to go out and be viral. I mean, you're going to tell your guests at dinner parties about this stuff, aren't you? It's fabulous. How can you do this for your brands? How can you apply this? But when disruption is repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated, it's no longer disruption. It's a pattern. So ask yourself today, where in your world can you disrupt? More importantly, how can you help your customers to disrupt? Because they will love you for it. If you are in any kind of servicing, marketing kind of area, what can you do to actually help your customers gain more customers by thinking differently? And every speaker, by the way, has to have an acronym. It's in the rules, and mine is Phil. F is for foundation. So when you start to think about your stuff, get good, solid foundations. A is for influence. This is about your ability to drive that traffic in the first place. It's your network, your fans, your connections, your followers. So this is about making sure you have strategies in place now to connect people. L is for leverage. Once you have these two things in place, now you get people engaged with you. And this is probably the most important. This is where return on investment is achieved in any kind of social strategy. Measuring and monitoring, making sure that you know where your traffic's coming from, what's working, what isn't. You should be split testing. You should be absolutely analysing what's working for you and what isn't. Doing more of the stuff that works, obviously, but continuously disrupting and thinking about different routes.